Well, hello my crafty friends. This is Michelle with the Southern Shell, and I'm here to share with you some rosette embellishments. Now, I've done a video several years ago on some rosettes that I did for a swap, and I really liked the way those turned out. In the box below, I'll put any of the rosette videos that I've done in the past. I'll put their links below. But I wanted to show you a couple different ways. My poor scoreboard needs scrubbed. A couple different ways that you can do rosettes. Now I have here, first of all, you can use a die. Now this one is by Tim Holtz Alterations, and it cuts out the strip, and then it actually does little tiny cuts in every 3/4 of an inch, every 1/4 of an inch, I'm sorry. And so it really does a very good job, and then it gives you the circle to attach your rosette to. And it gives you the instructions on how to do this. Very simple to do. And when you use the die, this is what your strip looks like. And this is what your rosette will look like. I just put a little bow on top of that after I inked the edges. Now these two I did by just cutting and scoring my own paper. This piece of card is cut at 1.5 inches and scored at every 1/4. This is cut at 3/4, and these are already scored. So if you're going to be doing several rosettes on the same card, what you want to do is you want to take your card and you're going to score everything at once. So when you're scoring, it's going to be scoring this way. So when you score that way, you want to pay attention to how, I guess it really doesn't matter on your pattern if you have a directional paper or not. But if I did it this way, you would get bits and pieces of it. And if I turned it and did it this way, you would have the words along here. And I think that'd be easier to look at. Let's do a bigger one in 1/2 inch. So we're going to go 1/2 inch all the way down, and then 1/2 inch all the way down, and then 1.5 and 2, 2.5 and 3. Make sure you stay in it, otherwise your scores are going to be crooked. 3.5 and 4, 4.5 and 5, 5.5, and 11.5. Okay, so here you can see a little bit better where all those score marks are. So now we're going to cut this. Once you're scored, you're going to want to cut. You're going to score it this way, so all your score lines, you're going to rotate it and you're going to cut it this way. Okay. If you cut it at 1 inch, you are going to have a 2 inch rosette. if you cut it at a 1/2 inch, you're going to have a 1-inch rosette. Cut it at 3/4, you're going to have a 1.5 inch rosette. So, you know, kind of whatever you decide you want, that's where you're going to go ahead and cut. So I'm going to go ahead and just do 1-inch rosettes, and I'm going to bring it over here to my 1-inch mark. So you get the idea on there. So let's go ahead and move this out of the way. So once you have your pieces cut, which I have a few here, I have some cut smaller, some cut bigger, flip that on over, and some that are the die cut. Those I haven't scored. So let's go ahead and see how easily one folds as compared to the other. Okay. So let's see how easy one is to fold than the other. So this is the one that's the die cut that has the little grooves that are already cut into it. And this you want to fold one way and then the other. Mountain, valley, mountain, valley. And it is really easy to fold. And every one of those is just a perfect straight line across there. And so you can just easily go through and just pop a bunch of these out. Just like this. Super easy and done. Whereas when you're doing one that you've actually folded and that you've scored and cut, you see how quickly that came together? And it holds its shape better because there's actual little cuts where the score marks are. So that makes it really nice. So there we have the die cut one. So let's go ahead and move on to the one that we scored at a 1/2 inch and cut. So these fold down okay, but they take a little more effort back and forth. And if you didn't score or cut straight, you're gonna have a little bit of some variance. And I know my card was sliding around a little bit and I can see. And sometimes it's not easy to fold that. If you have a really good card, it's a little more difficult. So one of the things I find that helps is to fold it all one way. It bends that card up nicely. And then I can come back and then fold it the other way. And the reason why is because I'm going to do that little accordion fold on this card, and each of these are going to go a different direction. We're going to have mountains and valleys across the whole thing. Okay. So now I look at that card cracked. So let's say you've got an issue with card cracking. What you can do, take a spray bottle of water and just mist it. And all I did was mist it, and it's just barely wet. I'm gonna run that on over. And now it's made that cardstock a lot more pliable. So now I can still come in and fold it all one way. And let's do it the other direction. Okay, so now I want to go ahead and do the accordion fold. A lot easier now that I've pre-folded both sides, but it's not quite as nice as that one was. I know my cardstock shifted a little bit when it was in the scoreboard, so I'm just going to squeeze that together, and then there's that one. So we'll do one more. There's the die cut, the 1 inch scored at a 1/2 inch, and then this is a 3/4 scored at every 1/4 inch. So once again, I'm going to come through and I'm just going to fold it all one way. Now, I didn't have any problem with this card actually cracking when I was doing this, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. I'm just going to come on in and just fold it all one way on that score. I'm just using my index finger on my right hand to push it forward as I squeeze on my left. And now I want to come through and go ahead and do it on the other side. So doing it on your own definitely is a little more time consuming than running it through your die cut machine. And now I'm going to do the accordion fold. I'm just trying to keep it between my middle finger and my thumb on my left hand as I fold it in. So I'm going to go ahead and bring it together and give it a good squeeze. And there's the 1/4 inch. So die cut, 1 inch at a 1/2 inch score mark, 3/4 of an inch at a 1/4 inch score mark. So let's get these together. Now I want to add some shading on these. This is my walnut stain. I want something for these to grab onto, and that's what I have over here. I have some scrap paper, and I have a, I believe this is a 1.5. This is probably a 1 inch punch. Yeah. So I'll show you the ease. These go back together very nicely after you've had them done once before. Now you can ink them before you fold them, which is probably a lot easier, but I am usually thinking after the fact. So you want to take this and you want to bring them around, and these two are going to slide right on over, and that's how you're going to grab them, excuse me. And since I want it to be fast, I'm going to go ahead and just use a very thin line of hot glue and bring that on over. I'm going to match those up, and then I'm going to squeeze that so it stays and it grabs. And now, once again, just reinforce those folds all the way around that circle now. And you want to go ahead and let that just slide on open. It doesn't slide very well on the felt. Let me go ahead and open it right on up there. Move this a minute. Okay, it'll slide a lot easier on here. See, it'll go and slide down much nicer. So you want to get it down, and you just want to make sure that it's, you know, get it used to going down, up, down, up, and down. So I'm going to take my punch, put some hot glue on there. I'm going to place it right over my punch. and push it right on down. And then hold it there so that hot glue can grab on the bottom. How easy that was. The die cut just, it just makes it easier. And then there you have it. May not be centered very well, but it's on there. It's not going anywhere. It's great. All right, let's go ahead and do our 1 inch at a 1/2 inch cut. Fold it back. And then we're going to bring that around. And that's going to sit right on top. So I want some glue on this side and some glue on this side. And this is going to sit right on over. And you want to make sure that it's in there and that your edges are not going to be interrupting any of the other folds. And then give it a nice good pinch. Now I could have trimmed off one and just slid it on over just like I did the other one. But now I'm just going to pinch that all together. And I want to get it used to coming on out into that circle. Take a little bit more coaxing. This one reminds me more of a tutu because of the size. It's not as full, meaning all the pleats around it, but it's thicker. And so that it just gives it a different look. So practice getting that on down there. Get your glue on here. And don't be stingy with it. It's going to go all up into those creases. Center that right on over. Push that on down. And get that rosette right on up in there. Doesn't take long to grab. Flip that on over. You've got it there. Now, especially with these taller ones, I like to put some glue right in the center and then push that on together and let those center pieces grab. And the last one is our 3/4 inch scored at 1/4. So once again, going to just accordion fold that on up. Bring that around and we're going to glue those two pieces together there. So hot glue spread across that piece. This is going to wrap right around and it's going to slide right on into that piece there. And we're going to hold and we're going to pinch those together so that it creates that circle. Just reinforcing the idea of the card to go into the accordion. Smaller ones are a little more fiddly, a little more difficult to deal with, but they're super cute when they're done. Do it a few times so that when you have it over your hot glue, it's just going to pop right into place. That memory, get a memory in there. When you feel comfortable with it, get your little piece together. Good amount of hot glue on top of there. And then we're going to set that over the top. And we're just going to coax it right on down and squeeze it right on together and give it a few moments to grab. If there's no hot glue coming out the top, just you can set your finger on there, you can grab it and hold it into place. And I did once. The more glue you have, the more time it's going to take for it to cool and set. But so here we have this one. This is this one. Of course, this is our die cut. Now, of course, the die was much easier to do, and they're kind of, you know, in difficulty order. Now, on these, I went ahead and put some embellishments on there. I want to give a little bit of distressing on the tops of, especially this one here, just a little bit on those folds. Make it look like it's been around just a little bit. Let's find something to decorate. This is one of my smaller ribbon boxes, and I've pulled a couple out already. This is the applique I used on one already. I used that green with it. I like this. I think that might be good with that one there. I also have this one, which may be good as well. So do I want another applique on one of these? That big one looks really pretty with one. Maybe cut another piece of the green. Let's go ahead and do that. Trying to open my scissors with the cap still on them. All right, so I just cut a little piece, and I'm going to fold it in half, and I'm going to fold those in half so I can do a little tiny fishtail on both of them at once. So I'm going to go ahead and put a dab of glue kind of across a couple of those pieces that are risen up. And I'm going to place that ribbon right on down on top of that. I'm going to take a piece of this applique. I'm going to trim off little pieces where it was connected to the other. This is like one of my favorite ribbons that I've had, favorite laces. Okay, so on the back of here, I'm going to put some glue on the more covered area where that rose is at. And I'm going to lay that right in the center. Now some of that glue is going to start coming through. Just kind of pull it up. Oh, I really like the way that turned out. That turned out really pretty. Okay, so let's see. I really like the idea of using this one as well. Cut off a piece of that. Let's see here. I think I'm going to use a couple pieces on there. A little on top of that. And how about a button? It might be a little thick. I think one of these will work. So let's see what we have. I like that one because it has some green in it. And one has some pink in it. I like the green better, even though I love pink, but I don't know, I like the green better on that one. Hot glue, try to put it around the edges there. I know it's going to come up in those holes, but that's okay. Okay, so there's that one. And this one, let's see here. I have a nice container of some flatbacks. Looking for one of these yellow ones. I like the yellow ones. All right. Put a nice dollop of glue in the center of that one again. And place that one right down on it. Okay. There we have it. There are some really pretty, let's see what we can do here, rosettes that you can use a die with, or you can use your scoreboard and cut some. If you don't have a scoreboard, you can just take some paper, this isn't, but you can do your little accordion fold. Like, I remember doing these as kids, and just fold it up yourself and just try to have it as even as possible, and just fold it and pinch and fold and pinch. And then when you've got it open, you can do your own, and probably even more of a half inch, because there's no way I could easily fold everything on a 1/4 inch. But there's another idea for you. Well, ladies and gents, my crafty friends, thank you so much for joining me. I really had a blast showing you how to do these rosette embellishments. I've been wanting to bring them to you for a couple weeks now, but I've been doing little other embellishments. So if you like what you see, please hit that like button. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing. Hit that subscribe button and hit the bell button if you want to know when I'm uploading new videos. So I'm so very grateful for you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. As always, be safe out there. God bless, and bye for now.